Hello guys, this is Avcoor and I would like to talk about Philotia. I'm going to tell you the truth. This video is a little hard for me as I tried to summon Philotia in the earlier video and it didn't work out the way that I thought. Spoiler alert. What I will say is that she was worth the risk. There are some characters that come into this game that really interest me in the fact that you saw the devs like look at a character and say, there's certain mechanics that we know work and there's certain mechanics that we want to experiment with. And with this character, you see a combination of both that things. And if you play this game like I play you get really excited because you're like, wow, I've kind of seen this mechanic in other games, but not the same way. They took some risk with this character, and I'm satisfied with the results that they have. So we'll get into it. Let's look at this character. At the end of the video, I'll tell you what runes you should put on this character. Is the character worth summoning? What partners they can use and what equipment you should put on them. So with a character like this, aesthetically, I mean, she's very pleasing. Um, very pleasing. For some reason, you can tell this. Holy crap, man! Come on, this is a this is a this is a game, dude. This was not required, but they did it anyway. Like I said, very pleasing aesthetically. Like the designs for these characters on this game are just out of this world. Like this, like light her, um, Delilah, just out of this world character design. So I just have to mention that. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Her element, her class, and her weapon. Like I said before, darkness is not the strongest element to me. I talked to someone on YouTube about this, and he says that the stat debuffs that the faction implements offsets the elemental advantage, and I can see some logic behind that. But like sometimes, like when you play this game at a very like repetitive level, sometimes you don't really think about that. Let me say it like this: like sometimes you just push the attack button, right? That you initiate the attack, but you don't think about the passive effects and the status effects. So there was probably a better way for you to approach that situation, but since you're just grinding, you don't think about that. In that aspect, darkness becomes weak. If you're going to play darkness, you have to really think about the moves that you make and your positioning because and turn order I think is important as well because you're trying to stack the debuffs on the opponent to drop their effectiveness so you can actually initiate on them, and that could be a little tricky. Like with this character, there is that aspect. There is a learning curve to playing her, and you're gonna see that in her kit, in her overall setup. Priest is one of the best classes in the game, next to warrior and tank, so that's not a problem. Darkness is actually really good for archers, assassins, and healers, in my opinion, and even wizards. I just don't think it's good for tank and warrior. And like I said, I don't think Arena is a good example of this because they made her so strong that she exceeds the power of her faction because she doesn't do a lot of debuffs. She only has like one debuff in her kit, and the rest are just bread and butter tanking skills that really make her great. But with this setup, you actually can take Alicia the 13th equipment and just put it on her. So both of these characters have the same element, class, and weapon. One is just vastly superior to the other, and you're looking at her. So why do I say that? Her stat distribution is amazing. Like her stats are where you want them to be, and it's not even close. Like AHP is like is amazing for a healer. And combined with physical defense at B and magical defense at S, you're already looking at the basic stats that will make her really, really good. But when you add on the fact that her magic attack is A, that means her healing output potential is really good. And on top of that, her offensive potential is actually really good. And she has some skills to actually effectively use that. So the devs really put their like minds to this character, and it just really, really I I really have to summon this character. I'm just so like she has my attention. Like oh wow, this character is amazing. Just on stats alone, like if you compare her stat line to a lot of other healers, you will be disappointed because let me go and show you. You need better demonstration. Like yeah, let's go into my barracks and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
용사들이여, 검을 들고
아비아를 돌봐주.
Right. So you're looking at A, B, B, S, B. So what they did with her character, they said F this. We don't need concentration for healing, and they put in a magic attack. So she is A, B, S. So I think her stat line is actually better than Clefaire's. And when you look at her raw stat distribution, it's actually higher. So let's go to another healer to illustrate this. Where's our other healer at?
아비아 파엘. 등대의
Of
인도로
course,
당신 곁에
A,
왔습니다.
B, B, S, B. And you would think because she has B concentration, that would make her better. But if this was C and this was A, then she would actually have the stat line to match uh, Philotia. I don't think crit is really that important for healers. To be honest, it's really a dump stat. So hopefully, like we'll see later iterations of priests that have D concentration, and they have like A here, and then they'll be absolutely broken. But yeah, uh, let's look at another one. Let's look at another healer here. Where are you at?
나 엘리시아는 케투라의 형제 그리고 미래의 유일한 월관왕이 될 것이다.
And you'll see like Alicia is A, B, A, S, and this stat distribution actually matches Philotia, but Philotia just has better skills and a better unique passive. So even her like predecessor, she's actually superior to, not in stats, but in overall skill and utility.
이
내게 준 책에서는 그가
Like
수많은
A,
악마와
B,
마주했다고 했어요.
B, S,
악마는
A.
그의 뼈를 뽑아 고통스럽게 하고
I think her crit is a
영락했습니다.
little more important,
수도원의 평범한
but
사람들은 이런 위대한 것을 생각지도 못하지요.
I think her crit is a little more important for her kit. What's again? A, B, B, S.
내게 준
And we'll
신뢰,
look at the last one
내
we'll look
옆에
at
동상,
is
모든 과거는
붓고당의 이름으로 난
모든 과거는
so here it's actually B, A, A, S, C. The problem with this is HP is actually more important than defense and match defense. Avi is really broken, and the fact that Philotia actually competes with her is amazing because they absolutely just cracked it with this character. So when you look at her stat line is actually super impressive. It's just that the only problem we have here is the HP. If the HP was A and the physical defense or the magic defense was A, then yeah, this would be like super crack. So raw stats, this this character has it because when you're competing with someone like Avia of the Waves, you know you're in like good company. So let's look at her unique passive and skills, and then we'll look at her normal skills and the traits. So Sacred Underworld Butterfly is super unique. Increases the healing effect received by allies within 2 to 3 block range by 10, 13, 16, 20%. Nullifies the debuff you have, limited to removal. So let's look at this first part for a second. And you're going to understand why this character is so utterly broken. Excuse me. Excuse me. Nullifies the debuffs you have. Like the effects of the debuffs that you have on your character are nullified. That itself, like if you take like half of this crap away, that still be so busted. So like if you get burned, you're not gonna get burned like everybody else. That's like busted. Cause like you can see in the video, and she doesn't even suffer from the status effects. Unless they change it. They're probably gonna change it. Because I feel that this aspect is just totally cracked. Of course, like this aspect is absolutely cracked in the fact that it increases the healing effect received by allies within the 2-3 block range. That means she actually pairs well with other healers. So we're actually looking at a super healer meta. I think we're gonna have like real serious tank push because of this character. So at the end of action, transfer 1 to 2 debuffs of all allies within the range of 2 to 3 D blocks to self. It deals 1 to 2 of those debuffs for the number of turns to 2 enemies within uh, 7 squares of the cross. That's insane. The range she has is insane. So this is like a real strong take push character. She's not for rush. And that's okay because take push is actually in a good place right now because of Arena and Gabriel. And also, of course, the Queen of Tanks, Catch. So when you're looking at her, Catch is a big friend of this character because Catch is very susceptible to debuffs. And the fact that she neutralizes them, yeah, that makes Catch a lot stronger. It also makes Delilah a lot stronger as well. So, like, tanks actually benefit mightily from this healer, as debuffs actually are a way for you to cripple tanks. So she's actually an anti-dark unit, so to speak. So let's just go over her skills real quick. So this is a one-turn skill, which is really important. When using this skill, 3 debuffs possessed by the target are transferred to self and HP is recovered. That's like a quick heal and removes 3 debuffs. So, excuse me. There's a number of situations you could apply this skill. I think the most important part would probably be PvP. I see some uses in PvE for it, but more so PvP where debuffs go around like crazy. This is really good. The only problem is it's gonna suck up space, and you got a consumption of 1. So yeah, this it's good, but it takes up a slot because she has a lot of good skills, and we have to check her other skills to see if she has some really good normal skills outside of her unique skills. So Soul Purification takes up two slots, and the cooldown is 2 turns. And this is the buff that heals you at the end of the turn. Real slap in the face to Alicia, as this is basically like part of her passive in a skill. But you get damage reduction, magic damage reduction, and you get like 50% at the end of your turn. Yeah, that's really good. When you combine this with her unique weapon, this is really good. She's got a lot of good stuff going for her. Curse of Black Star is actually really good as well. Increases healing effect by 50% when owning 5 or more debuffs. Skill range +1. Inflicts 5.5 damage to a single enemy and copies 5 of your own debuffs to the target. Each time the number of debuffs possessed by the target increases by 1, the damage dealt this time increases by 20%. Max 200% increase, and if the target already has 3 debuffs, automatically apply stun. So that's the attack skill that you saw. And I think this is a must carry at all times for her. Underworld Butterfly Curtain is not a must carry. I think Curse of Black Star is. I think this is one of the must carry skills for her because it's doing so much. First of all, it's giving you a passive, which is free. So you're getting passive and active skill in one. So that justifies the two consumption. That's really good. And it's an attacking skill. So she actually has the magic attack in order to make this work. And once you're sucking up debuffs, it's going to be easy to get 5 debuffs. It's going to be easier than you think. And if the target already has 3 debuffs, additionally apply stun. So yeah, I really want to build her in season and see how they would work on a team together because that's insane. Like if you combine her and Susie, that's got to be really freaking cracked because Susie already can like literally apply 3 debuffs in one turn. Even at like 3 stars, they can do it. So think about it at her at 9 stars. If you teleport in, and then if you do another attack, so you're basically getting the 5 debuffs, and you do damage. So you follow up with her, and you automatically stun one of the units. Yeah, yeah. Tank push is looking real good with this character. This 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 skill like really cements her place as a top tier healer. Yeah, this is really crack. This is really wow. This is crack, man. Especially if you like I said earlier in the video that with dark units you have to think about your movements. Like if you play this character and you don't know what the crap you're doing, you're gonna totally mess this skill up. But if you know what you're doing, this thing is absolutely like broken. Like if you have like wow, this is absolutely broken. So yeah, yeah, wow. Yeah, this is good. That's super good. Underworld Butterfly's Curtain is actually really good too. So when using this skill to recover the HP of all allies, it's consumption 2, of course. Your cooldown is 3 turns. When using this skill, recover the HP of all allies within range. Creates butterfly wings within 3 blocks around the caster and cannot act while maintaining this area. The important part is you cannot act. So positioning is actually important with this skill. You actually want to put her in a spot that's advantageous to both you and the people in your party. This can be a place where you know you're not going to move around much, and you're going to have a tank with her. But if you do, you can maximize the effect of butterfly wings. And you wait 1 turn, it recovers the HP allies when it's done. But this skill is super broken, as when you really think about it, being immune to debuffs, which is one of the conditions, and being able to recover 50% of your maximum HP within the range of 2 blocks around the caster, this actually, I would say this is actually another must carry skill. Like, but you're fighting these two skills are fighting for space, right? Like, if you carry one skill, it's gonna be hard to carry the other skill, and then you give up on the rest of these skills. So this is 2 cooldown, and this is 1 cooldown, and we haven't looked at her normal skills yet. So, excuse me. So she has a problem where the skills are so good that you have to fight for space. But a counter argument would be like you customize her to a certain content, so that makes her exciting to me. Because this skill is like really exciting to me. Like I'm thinking about ways that I could actually use this in battle. I mean, honestly, if I I already had Avia the ways, but she doesn't interest me as much. Avia is actually really powerful, but she just doesn't interest me as much as because she doesn't require much thought to use, as she is so overwhelmingly potent that you just need to know the basics of this game and all you have to do is be patient and you really can master the character. Like she has a higher skill curve, but I'm excited about that. Her exclusive weapon is pretty darn good. It gives her magic attack power, which I don't like, but it gives her HP, which I do like. After using a skill that does not inflict damage, grants dark shield status to that target. When there is an enemy within 2 blocks, remove 1 debuff from allies within 1 block and recovers HP. This is critical because it gives her passive healing, which is really amazing. That's really good. And Shield of Darkness, you reduce elemental damage by 20%. After receiving damage, there's a 40% chance to apply a random debuff to the attacker. So this makes her a real strong, like, pillar of the dark faction. Like when you combine her, Arena, Susie, and Susan, along with Catherine, you're seeing the beginning of a good dark faction now. So I like what she's bringing to the table. I tried, man. If you're gonna see the video, I tried, man. I tried my heart out for this character. It hurt me so bad. It hurt me so bad. I won't tell you the character that I got, but just you know, it hurt me so bad. This character hurt me so bad. I mean, that's what hurts me about this game. Like the drop rates are so low, and every time you roll a character, it's never the character that you want. It hurt me so bad. Let's go into let's go into her traits and let's look at her other skills. So this is good. It's always good when you see come to healing. Let's see what else she's got. So this is her Wonderland skill. This is her attacking skill. What is this? Oh yeah, this is the one where she takes the debuffs off. Okay, the protector's keystone is all right, but it's kind of like redundant, right? Because you already have something that does that. Like you already have this skill that does that, so that's kind of redundant. Um, the physical damage that you're dealing, Indomitable is like pointless. So I mean, this so like what the heck, man? So I don't know, dude. It's like, huh? Like okay, so like she doesn't have any like strong like normal healing skills to crutch back on. Because protection of keystone is good if you don't have a buff like this. Like some of her some of these skills are like redundant. Like this is absolutely garbage. Like she has her attacking skill, which is good. These 3 skills are really good. So pretty much like most of the time you're gonna want these skills on her. But this is really good. Come to healing is really good, and the cooldown is 1 turn. I can actually see you putting this on her though. Like like this is a good skill because it's 1 turn, and this is a good skill. These are good skills, but like for variety, like I guess this actually is more important than it seems. Like you actually want a cheap skill sometimes on your characters. You don't want to always use class specific skills because like for grinding and for like just generic content, you don't want to think that much. And in turn, like you actually want a cheap fast skill because this is only 1 turn for an AOE. Come to heal is really good because it's one turn for an AOE heal. So every other turn you can use this skill. Like this is really good. This is way better, but it's 3 turns, so and that's a lifetime. Like this is 2 turns, so that's not bad. This is 1 turn, so Don't like this. I just don't like this in Keystone, man. These two skills are garbage, especially when she has a better buff. It's like Garbo. Anyways, enough complaining. Oh, she needs Valek, really? Jeez. Oh, that sucks. Is she need? Oh, that sucks. Really? Oh, that sucks. So you actually need to get the other character? Wow, that sucks. Come on, dude. That really sucks. Okay, well, enough complaining. Let's go to equipment.
용사들이여. 교실에서 수업하는 거지.
죽음을 두려워하지 않는 방패가
성광기사 브라운
Uh,
환영 인사 드립니다. 조남이 어떻게 되시나요?
내게 준 신뢰가
let's go to Caesar. Caesar real quick. There's one piece of equipment that you want in this Crown of the Gods. There's other helms that you could actually use with her. Because of her stats, there's other helms you could use. You can actually use Crown of Pure Moon because it raises the physical defense of your allies. That's really good. It's a cheap way to get a buff. This is actually a solid helmet too. That's actually solid. Crown of the Moon gives you HP plus defense and HP. Let me see what this does. Is your HP? Okay, that's tolerable. But yeah, I think this is her. This is her best helm. Yeah, it's everybody's best helm. Yeah, this is everybody's best helm. All right, so that's as far as helms go. That's the helm that you're looking at. Let's go to Alicia. Let's go to Starlight Robe. You're getting 10% damage received less. You want her unique weapon, of course, but Starlight Robe is her best robe. But if you're on a budget, this will do just fine because she has really great stats. Like characters with really great stats, they can wear budget gear until you get something better. So don't be scared if you don't have the equipment that I'm mentioning. This character's stats are so good, she can actually run this and she can make it work. Other characters cannot. I.e., other characters cannot. If you don't have a HP, there's a lot of equipment that you cannot make work. You just simply cannot make work. Like this, like this type of equipment they need because they need HP and they need defense. But a character like Philotia and Alicia can run different pieces of gear because they're not so dependent on stats. But this will always be the best piece of equipment, I think, for a lot of wizards. And for accessory, this is actually really good. Voice of Grace is actually really good. The thing about this character, you don't have to worry about debuffs. So giving a random buff to a target is really good. Let me see where we're at. This is really good because it helps you survive against rangers and shooters who are looking to pick you off. You're immune to no counterattack. This is not really useful for her because she's already immune to debuffs. What's the other thing? You can actually use this as well. Even though she depended on debuffs, her removing debuff actually works with her unique weapon. So the septic stone in the container and a voice of grace, I think are our best pieces of equipment, hands down. And when we go to runes, like the new rune is actually her best rune, but for now, if you don't have that, True Cross works just fine. And you actually want another two set that actually raises her magic attack as opposed to HP because she's pretty good on HP. So you don't have to worry about that. You can actually boost her magic attack if you so choose. Or if you want to play it safe, you could actually use another HP buffing rune. Let me see which one I would actually suggest. The Susong is actually really good. Soul Song is actually really good because it gives you HP. Not worried about the 4-piece set, but the HP actually increases her survivability by a lot. She's working with a lot of good stats, so you're pretty much safe there. That's one of the best aspects of this character is her like stat buff. Like you're not really
용서를
scared about stats so much. With wizards, you're scared about stats, and with some priests, you're really scared about stats. And when we look at characters that she works with, there's a few
새로운
that come to
세계,
mind.
새로운 시작.
아비아를 돌봐주셔서 감사합니다. 파로스에 있을 때보다 훨씬 웃음이 많.
고개 숙이지 못해?
Cash is
잘
like one
들어.
of the
나
best.
캐시의 협조를 바란다면 우리가 하는 모든 일은 백성들을 그 사기꾼 녀석들에게서 구해내기 위해서야. 너도
This is
그렇게 생각한다면 우린 같은 배를 탄 형제야.
this is probably one of the best units she works with because Catch benefits a lot from this character. There's a lot of holes in Catch that is filled. Catch isn't really that weak of a take, but people have found strategies in order to beat her, and debuffs are the way to go. If you want to beat Catch, debuffs are the way to go. Like good catches carry like the non-movement, like the ancient talisman that I carry with my Gabriel that stops you from being like slowed and stuff. And that's great, but like burn hurts catch, bleed hurts catch, silence hurts catch, and attack down hurts catch. You won't like when you wear the talisman, you won't worry about defense down, but there's a lot of stats effects that weigh her down. And Philotia gets around that because she's like a cleanse queen. So tanks like Gabriel,
이곳은 영역계 적착업 부서다.
유능한 인 바이비스의
um,
바람, 바이비스의 모든 것.
tanks like Richard,
전부 내
pretty
항상
much
현
every
위치를
tank
유지해.
that's like meta.
위험-
네가 본
남의 머리
Oh
성관계사
man,
브라운 환영 인사 드립니다. 조남이 어떻게 되시나요? 검을 들고 싸워 분쟁을 막아라.
where's she at?
날
Del Delilah is actually one of her best like options. So any tank that you see actually benefits from Philotia, and a lot of DPSs do too. Namely, like Coil, DNS, Electo. Who else is a good DPS? Jean. All benefit from this character. So she helps a lot of characters in this game, but I think Catch and other arena and other core units are her best friend. Another character that helps her out is Susie and Susan. Excuse me. So if you're in possession of Susie and Susan, they're a really big help to Philotia. There's a lot of good characters that Philotia makes better, and there's very few characters that make her better. She's like a carry unit, honestly. She's a character that makes other characters better. Pretty much like Avia of the Waves. She's a character that makes characters better. And it's kind of scary that the healer meta is so like OP in this game. It's just absolutely OP in this game. It's like, where do you fit in, Lohanes? Where do you fit in, buddy, man? This is crazy what they're doing with these healers. But is she a must summon? Yeah, she's a must summon. I already revealed that when I said I actually tried to summon for her. Her long term viability is extremely high. If they actually let her be immune to debuffs, not receiving the effects of the debuffs that are placed on her, absolutely broken. Absolutely broken character. Even if they don't, there's ways to get around it. I've already thought of a few, and that's just putting on equipment that nullifies certain effects of the debuff. So there's ways to get around that. And the fact that she makes you immune to debuffs inside an aura field is really good. She's like a true meta PvP healer. But like most meta PvP healers, they have value outside of PvP. And with the new content coming out with the new dungeons and the world boss, she only gets better. But anyways, if you like my content, to like, share, subscribe, and I'll get back to you. Have a great day and goodbye.